Now let us continue again from page 35. The old man sighed and picked up the chisel and hammer. The cool metal of the tools filled him with happiness and confidence. He loved his work and didn't want to change it for any other in the world. Now, this man actually was very passionate about his work. He loved his work, and that is why when he picked up the chisel and hammer, the touch of the metal, okay, the cool metal of the tools filled him with happiness and confidence. So he started working again. Days and weeks went by. It was a month since Gopal had left. The old man worked tirelessly. From morning till late at night, he worked on the sculpture. It was all there, in the stone, the strong, straight shoulders of Krishna, his soft curved hips. He could see the pointed fingers holding the flute delicately to his lips, his serene face eternally beautiful. The old man could see it in the stone. He could feel it. He only had to set it free with his chisel. So now this means that he actually started working on the statue once again. Days and weeks went by. It was almost a month now, and the man was working tirelessly from morning till late, but it actually used to take a lot of time to finish one statue. So it was all there in the stone, the strong. So he was actually making a large statue of Lord Krishna, and he could even see the pointed fingers holding the flute delicately to his lips. Okay, so he could even visualize the expression of Lord Krishna on the stone, and he was just ready to chisel it. Okay, chisel it out means to carve it very finely. And his serene face, serene means very quiet. Okay, something which is giving you a very nice feeling. Okay, serene means very quiet, and shanti jo deti hai, bilkul shant. So his serene face, eternally beautiful. Now Lord Krishna's face is ever smiling when you see. So it is eternally beautiful means it is actually, the meaning is given here, always beautiful. Always. Okay. And the old man could see it in the stone, and he could even feel it. And he only had to set it free with his chisel, which means to carve it out with his chisel and hammer. He didn't feel hunger. He didn't feel thirst. He was driven by the desire to finish the sculpture in time. It was his biggest piece, his best. It would also be his last. So now he had the only desire was to finish the sculpture somehow, and it was actually so large that it was taking his largest is his best. It was his biggest piece and his best also. So he wanted to make it the best also, and it will also be his last. Means actually he had no energy left now to take more orders or to make more statues of such kind. On and on he worked, his chisel striking the stone again and again. But then came the day when the old man felt his strength ebb. His hands tremble under the impact of the hammer. His shoulders began to ache, his arms felt heavy, and his eyes grew tired. Then his vision blurred, and he could not see the shape of Krishna embedded in the stone. Overcome with fear, he sank to his knees and prayed. So now let us just come to the paragraph once again. On and on he worked, his chisel striking the stone again and again. But then came the day when the old man felt his strength ebb. Strength ebb means the strength actually became very less, and he felt very weak, and his hands started trembling under the impact of the hammer. He could no longer work with the hammer. His shoulders began to ache. So because actually he was working for a long time and he was working continuously, so his body actually had become exhausted. So his shoulders began to ache, and his arms felt heavy, and his eyes grew tired. Then his vision blurred. Vision blurred means now he was not even able to see properly. He could not even see clearly, and he could not see the shape of Krishna embedded in the stone. So even the shape had come out, the face of Krishna, but he was not able to see it clearly. And overcome with fear, he sank to his knees and prayed. Now he had that fear in his mind that he would not be able to finish the sculpture. So he became very afraid and he sank to his knees and started praying to God. Master Ji, Salim said, "You haven't touched your food again. Please have some rice and vegetables. You only had a glass of milk for breakfast. And have the curd. You like curd, I know you do." So now the boy again came, Salim, to him. He saw that the master had not eaten anything. Okay, so he just again told him to ask, requested him to have rice and vegetables, to have something, as he had not had anything for breakfast also except a glass of milk. The old man looked up. He whispered, "I don't think I'll be able to finish it. If Gopal was here, it would be different." Now he was actually remembering his son, that if Gopal was here, he had been here, he could have helped him finish the statue. We both would have finished the statue much earlier. But now, since he is not here, I don't think I'll be able to finish it myself. He nodded absent-mindedly to himself and continued. He wasn't the best of craftsmen, but he was good and strong. He chipped off the stone layer by layer as if it were clay. He hadn't yet learned to carve the finer details, but in a year or two he would have learned surely. Now this man, he knew how much his son had learnt the art of stone carving. So he just was telling himself, okay, and he continued speaking also. He wasn't the best of craftsmen. See, as a craftsman, he wasn't the best. But since he was young, he was strong, he could use the hammer and chisel quite nicely. And he could remove the stone layer by layer, okay, as if it were clay. It was just a clay, just clay. Clay is very soft actually, as compared to the stone. But he had not learned to carve in the finer manner. So he fell silent. It was the features and hands that gave him trouble. There was something missing in his fingers. That's something which can't be taught. So now he was remembering how his son used to carve the stone, or how he used to work. He actually was not able to bring out the particular features, the facial features, and also the hands. Okay, the hands have got the wrinkles and the all the fine lines in the hands. So that was a thing which was difficult for him to carve. There was something missing in his figures, and that what was missing was that particular feeling or the passion or the fineness. Okay, so that's something which can't be taught. It can't be taught to everybody. It has to be brought out from within, because it comes from somewhere deep inside you. Now that was the answer given by his servant, that Salim, okay, that boy. So he whispered, because it cannot be taught, as it comes from somewhere deep inside you, from deep inside here. And he showed it towards his heart. He pointed to his heart. So things, the things which are actually artistic have to come from inside the artist's heart. Okay, it cannot be taught to someone. It has to be from his own heart. So the old man looked at the boy, surprised. He was surprised to see that the boy could understand this much, and he saw him blush and turn his face away. So when he looked at the boy blushed. Blushed means like he felt a little bit embarrassed. Okay, sharam, थोड़ी सी उसको शर्म आ गई. He saw him blush and turn his face away. And the boy but did not say anything. Just he turned his face away. "You are right, Salim. You are right." And then he added with sudden bitterness, "And if you don't have it here," he thumbed his chest, "then you'd better go to Agra and mass produce ashtrays for the tourists from abroad." So Masterji said it is right for those people who, if they don't have it in their heart, it is better for them to go to Agra and mass produce the ashtrays for the tourists, because they are not the pieces of art. Okay. So then the old man coughed painfully and reached for his glass of water. "Eat, Masterji, eat. Everything will be all right." After he had eaten, the old man once again took up his hammer and chisel. He worked till late in the night. He prayed for help and strength, and he prayed for his son. In the early hours of the morning, the chisel fell from his hand, and the hammer dropped to the ground. His old body sagged, falling forward limply. His forehead struck Krishna's flute and slid down the statue to rest on the pedestal. So now when this boy Salim asks his master to eat the food, so he finally eats the food and then starts working again on the statue. And he worked till late in the night, but he also prayed also. He prayed for help, he prayed for strength, okay, and also he prayed for his son's well-being. But in the early hours of the morning, he was not able to work anymore. So the chisel and hammer and all those tools, they fell from his hand, they dropped to the ground, and his old body sagged and fell, okay, limply. His forehead struck Krishna's flute, even his own forehead struck Krishna's flute and slid down the statue to rest on the pedestal. And he was actually lying on the pedestal now, okay, in his sleep. Okay, actually it was not sleep, it was a state of extreme exhaustion. Actually he was exhausted badly, and he wanted to sleep, and his body actually needed some rest, so he just fell down on the pedestal. Now what is a pedestal? Pedestal means the base, okay, the base on which the statue is standing, the flat base. Hey Ram, he muttered, and sank into comfortable darkness. So just before blanking out, he said, Hey Ram, okay, and then sank into comfortable darkness. He just went out to sleep. When he opened his eyes, he found himself lying on a cot in his bedroom, covered by a light cotton blanket. So he was actually lying near the statue only on the pedestal, but Salim must have picked him up, and when he opened his eyes, he found himself lying on a cot in his bedroom, covered by a light cotton blanket. From the workshop, the chipping sound of the chisel reached his ears. Now, when he woke up, he heard the sound of the chisel and the hammer. He listened. Had his ears deceived him? No, he could hear it again, the strong blow of the hammer on the top of the chisel. So he could hear that someone was working with the hammer and chisel in his workshop. Gopal, he was back. Gopal had returned. He would help him. They would finish the statue. So these were the first thoughts which came to his mind when he heard that sound of chisel and hammer. He stumbled to his feet, crossed the room and reached the door. So he just stumbled, means girte padte. The way he was walking was not very smooth. So he just stumbled to his feet, crossed the room and reached the door. Gopal, he was about to shout when the words froze on his lips, because what he saw in front of him made him stop. No, he wanted to cry out, stop, stop the work. So he wanted to say, but he did not say these, he did not utter these words, but his heart wanted to say, stop, stop the work. But he couldn't move. Shock had immobilized him. Now this word immobilized means which had made him stationary. Mobility means to move. So because of shock, he was not able to even move from there. He stood staring at the back of the young stone carver, working on the face of the statue, on the eyebrows, arcing over a pair of fine eyes. So now he stood at the young stone carver. Now he was Salim, he was not his son, and he just stood staring at him. And the boy was working very intently. He was working on the face of the statue, which is the most difficult part actually, to carve out the face, because it holds all the expression. And on the eyebrows, arcing over a pair of fine eyes. It wasn't his son sitting cross-legged before the biggest statue he had ever carved. It was Salim, his servant. The old man watched stunned. The first wave of shock, fear and anger passed. So now he was stunned, and initially he was very angry and he was shocked to see this boy working on his statue. But then when he came near and when he saw the boy doing the work in such a perfect manner, that he actually was full of praise for him now. Hey Ram, the old man whispered. Hey Ram, and tottered over to the boy. Dropping his hand on his shoulder, he said softly, Salim. The startled boy turned and looked up at his master. The boy also was startled because he never expected the master to come and stand behind him like this. He rose to his feet clumsily, the hammer and chisel still in his hands. Salim, the old man searched for words. I only wanted to help, whispered the boy. I'll learn if you teach me, Masterji. Now, I have practiced secretly for almost 2 years in the quarry. So now the Salim actually, this boy, he tried to tell his master that he was just helping him. He wanted to help only, and if master was ready to teach him, he was ready to learn. I will learn if you teach me, Masterji. And I practiced, and he even disclosed the secret of going out again and again every day. That was where he was going. He was going to the quarry every day for almost 2 years, and he was practicing stone cutting there only, stone carving in the quarry. Now, quarry is what? Quarry is a place where stones are cut. Okay, you take out the stones, okay, for selling in the market. I am a Muslim. I know I should not carve the image of God. But isn't this different, Masterji? I am carving a sculpture, aren't I? A beautiful sculpture that has different meanings for different people. Isn't it so, Masterji? So he was actually a Muslim. So he thought that Master should not stop him from making the statue of a Hindu god. But then he tried to defend himself. He said, it is not just not just an image of God. It is different. I'm carving a sculpture, and this sculpture is meaningful. Has different meanings for different people. It's a beautiful sculpture. Okay, a piece of art. So please tell me. For many years, I wanted to become a sculptor. Yet I fought the feeling, but it proved too strong. I know there is nothing in this world I would like to do more. There is nothing in life I could do better. Will you please teach me, Masterji? Now this boy actually had a passion to learn and a passion to do the work of stonemason. So he said, see, I wanted to become a sculptor, and I had always fought this feeling also. Means I tried to stop myself. But it proved too strong. But the feeling was so strong that I could not win over it. I could not stop thinking about this, and there is nothing in this world I would like to do more. So this is the thing which I would like to do most. And this is the thing which I cannot do. Like, I can do this only in the best way. I cannot do anything which is better than this. And he just requests the master, will you please teach me this art of stone carving? The old man pulled the boy's head against his shoulder and whispered, there is nothing I can teach you, my son. Go ahead. You have it in your hands and in your heart. I know you will be one of the country's finest stonemasons. So the old man was actually very happy to see that this boy had that passion and that fire in him to learn and to become a sculptor. So he just tried to hug that boy. He just brought the boy's head against his shoulder, brought him closer, and though he was a servant, but still he liked him very much. There is nothing I can teach you, my son. So he was like a guru. So he said, I cannot teach you, but you know everything. Okay, it's just go ahead and learn. You have it in your hands and you have it in your heart. So I know you will be one of the country's finest stonemasons. So this was the last line which he said, that he knew that he would be one of the finest, because the way he was working on the face of Lord Krishna, he had seen that the boy had some art in him. The boy was an artist. So that's all for the story, and we'll discuss the question answers and the other grammar part in my next video.